On pole position then in the Titan Mark III, alongside him will be Peter De La Roche, who will line up in the middle, and third completed by Andrew Hibbard in the Brabham Ford BT18. Behind them, we don't think John Milkovic is there, so Enrico Spagliari in the Lotus from fifth. The Brabham of Dan Eagling, Jason Timms we've just seen in the Brabham Ford, hopefully starting from the pit lane. Jeremy Timms in the Chevron from 8th. Behind Ned, row 4, in rounding out the top 10, the march of Thomas Jammer, and the 10th, Christoph Widmer in the Brabham. No Nick Padmore from row 5, so it will be Andy Jarvis in the march from 12th, Richard Trott in the Brabham from 13th. Behind them, Steve Seaman in the Brabham, Steve Nichols in the Chevron, row 7. In 16th, the De Sanctis of Austin Widmer, Andrew Tart in the Merlin, then Simon Armour in the march from 18th spot. 19th in the top 20, rounded up by the Pygmy and the Merlin. Ludovic Ingvilla and Ross Driver in those cars. Jonathan Sharp in the Chevron, 21st. Peter Hamilton in the Techno. There's one of two Technos in the grid. 22nd. Row 10 behind them, the top 25, Simon Horton in the Chevron, Werner Pitcher in the Lotus, and the last two rows are seeing two Brabham, Simon Etherington, Martin Whitlock, accompanied by the Chevron of Mike Lamplow, and the back row will be Leif Bosson in the Brabham, and the second of the Technos from 30th on the grid, Fritz Burkhardt. So it's a packed out grid. 30 cars were entered, we're down a couple already, and just like that, the formation up is complete, and they are your top 3 cars. Mike O'Brien in the Titan, in the number 8, lining up on pole position. If all is even, he'll have a good start. We'll have to have that inside tighter line going into turn 1 through Madrick. That car restored over the last 2 years by Mike O'Brien. Believed to be either an ex-Tim Schenken or a Dave Brody car. Raced back in 1968 and getting a full running once again at the Goodwood members meeting. We're just about set then for the Derek Bell Cup. 1000cc Formula 3 cars, ranging from between 1964 and 1970. All cars lined up on the grid. We'll have one from the pit lane, all being well, as we await for the flag. On pole, the Titan of Mike O'Brien, alongside in the Alexis Ford of Peter De La Roche, and the Brabham of Andrew Hibbard on the far right from third. As the revs rise, the flag is waved, and we are underway for the Derek Bell Cup, and it's a poor getaway from opposite to Michael O'Brien. Peter De La Roche in the Alexis Ford with the best start from the front row. He'll be leading in the yellow Alexis Ford coming into turn 1. It tightens up nearly 3 wide coming through turn 1, Madrick, Andrew Hibbard locking up into second, and who's going to emerge into third? Can Michael O'Brien recover after that poor start, Bruce? But for the lead, side by side, it was De La Roche, but squeezing through on the inside, it's nip and tuck, but Hibbard from third on the grid now takes the lead of this race. But will De La Roche try and fight back? Round the outside, sweeps round, he does, keeps his foot planted to the floor. De La Roche in the 75, Alexis Ford back into the lead. We've got a car spinning out wide, that's the 83, further back in the pack, finding the grass and into the shrubbery, along with a couple of other cars there as well. The 88, finding that was Richard Trott in the Brabham too. So a few cars off early doors. 20 minutes gone, already down to 19.
Yeah, well, that was quite something, but quite classic moment there, unfortunately, at St Mary's, when you're absolutely flat out through the second part of the corner. When you go to the right, if someone goes off in front of you, you often just follow in, because sometimes your line is compromised. But that start from Peter De La Roche, he must have been schooled at Santa Pod Dragway. Phenomenal getaway, but the racecraft of Andrew Hibbard put his Brabham into the lead. But the first 3 covered by a rather large handkerchief as they go through the chicane for the first time.
Yeah, O'Brien, after that tough start in the Titan, managed to catch back up to the top 2. So it's Hibbard who leads from De La Roche from O'Brien. But what will it be coming into Madrick? Hibbard on the inside has to surrender. De La Roche retakes the lead back up in front. It's the Alexis that leads the way, and now our pole man in the Titan, O'Brien, trying to recover after his poor start as the sun glints down on these fantastic Formula 3 cars. And it's O'Brien back up into second. Will he try and make the move for the lead once again on De La Roche? Not on this occasion.
Well, remember what we said before the start, these engines, just 1000ccs, they're not powerful. You lose momentum and you're going to pay, and you can see that is why this lead battle is chopping and changing. In 4th place, we've got Enrico Spagliari in the gold leaf liveried Lotus, trying his best to keep up. Unfortunately, one of the Pygmies, that was starting from the back end of the grid, the Fritz Burkhardt car, pulling off. But the lead battle enticing, and at the moment it's the Titan, the blue car with the red and white stripe up at the nose, with Michael O'Brien, our pole sitter, trying to go through, gets past the Alexis. Oh, a moment for car number 21. That's the other pigmade, that's Luca Ingvila's car. Meanwhile, as they say, back at the front of the race, it's nose to tail, and it's under a second between the first three runners as they come round towards the end of another lap.
Our pole sitter regaining the lead then. Michael O'Brien in the Titan leads the way as they come through the final chicane. Peter De La Roche in the Alexis Ford, that number 75, all yellow, in second as we come across the line. Andrew Hibbard, it's as they started now in third, and this is what happened to the number 21 car further back in the pack, spinning round and round and round, making its way back through further down the field.
Yeah, good thing back on the black stuff again, going through St Mary's. That wonderful little compression out of the corner, up the rise goes that midfield pack, and then that's the moment, the lock-up suddenly presented with the track turning right and no track in front of him, just grass. So for Ingvila, he locked up, but managed to get it back onto the tarmac all over again. But now Peter De La Roche in second place, really pushing very hard in that yellow Alexis. Michael O'Brien is really going to have to work for this one. Any loss of momentum between them, and then Andrew Hibbard in the Brabham will pounce at any gap that's provided.
Yeah, these top three not letting each other out of their sight. O'Brien leads, De La Roche leads Hibbard. That is your top three. Then just behind is Jeremy Timms, but off and with an issue. That looked like the number 14 cut of Simon Etherington. Started down in 26. He's peeled off in his Brabham. Move, though, being done for second position as O'Brien cements the lead further back. It's Andrew Hibbard coming through on De La Roche. Hibbard in the Brabham making the move on the Alexis. So De La Roche down to third now. O'Brien in the Titan leads coming through and out of the final chicane. Then comes Andrew Hibbard in the Brabham. And then in third now, Peter De La Roche in the Alexis.
Well, an advantage the race leader of 0.8 of a second, but that move into second place from Andrew Hibbard all came from the better exit from the second part of Lavant, because after that there's a kick to the left, but it's the longest run effectively between corners. So if you can get a bit of extra momentum in these cars that really struggle to carry it, don't have much power from these 1000cc engines, but the job was done on the exit of Lavant. So up into second place goes Andrew Hibbard, but Peter De La Roche was slightly delayed as the Brabham came past, and that is why Michael O'Brien is pulling clear.
And well, making the move then, Hibbard and De La Roche still fighting nip and tuck, and De La Roche making his way through. It's Mike O'Brien who has now cemented his lead a little bit, almost a second out in front after a poor start for the pole man in his Titan Mark III. Now back in front, and then behind them is the yellow Alexis of Peter De La Roche, still nip and tuck with Andrew Hibbard in third in the Brabham. Then comes Jeremy Tim and then Spaghiari as we get the safety car, so the Porsche safety car out on track for an incident that has occurred. So the clock still continues to chime down as we will neutralise the race. The safety car will pick up the leader of this race, and they come through the final chicane now. They'll have to slow down and get in formation behind the safety car, and that will tighten up the gaps that O'Brien had just about made in the last few laps.
You do rather feel for Michael O'Brien. He got clear of that three-way battle at the front of the field, but it's going to be compressed, but not by a lot, because we're still only dealing with a couple of seconds. So let's just run down the order. Michael O'Brien started on pole, fell back, went down to third place, bided his time, he waited, he's moved back into the lead in that number 8 Titan. Second place, Peter De La Roche and Andrew Hibbard. So they're in the 3, and now we have a red flag thrown, and so all the cars will come back round and they will form back on the grid. We've got 14 minutes to race. We've already had 6 minutes this race. It's been nip and tuck, exquisite battling between not just 3 drivers at the top of their craft, Michael O'Brien, Peter De La Roche and Andrew Hibbard, but in the essence of the day, Harry, the Formula 3 cars always a race, but they always had chassis variety. Look at the different shapes, the blue Titan, the yellow Alexis and the white and black checkered flag team Brabham in the rear of that pack.
All right, in the yellow Alexis Ford Mark 17, Peter De La Roche, and we are back racing. Another poor start from our pole sitter Michael O'Brien. Even start from Hibbard and De La Roche. Who's going to come out and top into turn 1? It's going to be Andrew Hibbard, with De La Roche squeezing round the outside. The yellow flag is out, no overtaking through Magic, so that cements Hibbard's position out in front. De La Roche in second, but another poor start from Michael O'Brien. You can see there in the number 8 now trying to carve his way back through the field. They've got the march of Andy Jarvis also scrapping at the sharp end of the field.
So those waved yellow flags were no friend to Michael O'Brien. They meant he couldn't try and regain a position down into the lead of the race. A first change of the race since leaving the line. It's Peter de la Roche in the yellow, Alexis into the lead. Wonderful sweeping stretch of circuit through St Mary's now as the pack arrives at the first corner, up into third place. So he went down to fifth, from pole position back into third place comes Michael O'Brien. So the trio that dominated the first part of the race, trying to do it all over again, and leading the rest of it is the blue march of Andy Jarvis in fourth place. But that first three, I can't believe how quickly they pulled clear.
Yeah, Andy Jarvis involved in a great scrap with the Lotus of Enrico Spagliari just behind this battle for the lead. And straight away, Michael O'Brien with the slipstream. We know it's all about slipstreaming around here. Not one pass, but two. O'Brien back into the lead of this race. De La Roche in second. Hibbard now down to third. It is as they started when we initially got racing out of the final chicane and across the line with 6.5 minutes remaining. It's the Titan that leads, the Alexis that leads the Brabham, but slipstream so key to make a move, and it's Hibbard who tries to tuck in behind the Alexis of De La Roche in front to make a move, but they're not going to be able to do so with that car still stranded on the exit. Indeed, De La Roche running out wide, dipping a tyre onto the grass. Indeed, the yellows are in, so you're free and able to make a move. De La Roche trying to get back in front of Hibbard, but so far Hibbard holding fort. Car off though.
Yeah, and certainly Peter de la Roche went very tight to the side of the circuit. Car 57, I think it's Simon Horton.
Yeah.
Everyone has pulled off. But you could see when taking the real outside line that Peter de la Roche kicked up some of the dry dust to dry up the fluid that went down there. And look at a replay, fabulous high shot. You can see the line on the outside of the circuit, just caught it, the quick dry dust. And then trying to see who went around. There it was, a big spin to the side of the circuit. So they always say two can tango, and around they went. Just trying to work which of the yellow cars that was that went off. Up front, though, it has been the case that Michael O'Brien, he was on pole by 1.1 seconds. Andrew Hibbard and Peter de la Roche trying to keep him honest and clear, but he's got that advantage. They're not on his tail anymore. They're about a second back as they fight over second position, but the Titan back to the front. But two poor starts each time. Michael O'Brien has had to settle down, regain his thoughts and go to the front, and he's done it with supreme ease and, no doubt in these cars, ultimate precision.
Through Madrid can go once again. De La Roche trying to get the slipstream on Hibbard, but having to tuck in behind. Battles up and down the field. Nice battle over 10th place between the number 11 car further back in the pack. That's Armour at the wheel of that, getting up into the points. The top 10 score points here. But the battle heating up most is this battle now for second, because Michael O'Brien, having had the poor start, back into the lead now, stretching that gap to over 1.5 seconds to Andrew Hibbard in the Brabham in second, Peter de la Roche in the Alexis in third, keeping him honest all the way. And this is a look for fifth. I think this is Spagliari. Well, this is the 61 of Andy Jarvis making the move in the march, in the all-blue march, getting himself up into fourth spot. Spagliari in the Lotus now down to fifth. There's O'Brien ahead of Hibbard, ahead of De La Roche in third.
O'Brien has got the pace to pull away, and he's doing precisely that, but he is really being helped by this battle, this fierce little tussle between the Brabham of Andrew Hibbard and Peter de la Roche in the yellow Alexis. Who will make a mistake? We've seen one slightly missed gear shift, and we've had an overtake in the opening part of the race, and the beneficiary there was Andrew Hibbard, who moved from third up to second, going past Peter de la Roche. This time around, he is again back in second place, but all along with every sector of each of the laps, our race Michael O'Brien is pulling clear. He's 2 seconds clear in the Titan.
Further back in the pack, nice battle developing between the 111 car of Ross Driver and the Merlin, and the Chevron of Steve Nichols, fighting over 8th spot at the moment. Couple of tenths between those cars. Indeed, the number 63 of Widmer has just managed to make up a position too. But this is the battle for the last 2 steps on the podium with just 3 minutes remaining. It's De La Roche in front or round the outside. Hibbard takes the inside tighter line. De La Roche in the all-yellow Alexis holding on round the outside. But Hibbard in the Brabham, better drive out of the corner, tighter line, keeps it neat and tidy in front for now. But that gives De La Roche all the toe he needs, almost pushing Hibbard along down the straight. Side by side we go. The Brabham in the number 25, the number 75, the Alexis. round the outside. Who will blink first? They get oh so close. Brilliant precision racing from Hibbard and De La Roche, and it's De La Roche who comes out on top out of the final chicane, but he has a rough exit, gets onto the dirt on the exit, coming down the main straight, and that gives Hibbard the advantage. Here we go then, across the line, back into Madwick. Advantage, Hibbard.
Nip and tuck, tuck and nip. This is a real cat and dog struggle over second place. Race leader Michael O'Brien in the Titan, 4.9, let's call it 5 seconds between friends. Pulling clear on his own, but this one is going to go all the way to the end. We've got 2 minutes remaining, so it's this lap and one further lap. And don't forget the opening race today, the race leader thought he just timed it to perfection to take the checkered flag, but had about half a second under the allotted 20 minutes, and then he had a real tussle on the final lap in the Parnell Cup. But here and now, this is a cracking race, and certainly Peter De La Roche doesn't mind hooking a wheel on the grass here and there. At the very point that Andrew Hibbard went through into second place last time, quick into Lavant doesn't mean quick out of the second part, and then you're going to struggle up the Lavant straight. But this time, it's the Alexis on the inside and forcing to go to the outside. There comes the kink, but the Brabham's moved across to hold down second place, but now the slipstream is the car behind. It's the Alexis and Peter De La Roche. But what does Andrew Hibbard do? He says if you're coming past, only on the outside.
Fantastic battle this over second and third in this Derek Bell Cup for 1000cc Formula 3 cars. Further back in the pack, the march of Andy Jarvis, I think, has had a problem. It's absolutely plummeted down the order all the way down to 20th spot and continues to fall down the field. So trouble there for the march of Jarvis. Back out in front, though, on the main straight we go. We'll get one more lap of racing before the checkered flag comes out. It's Michael O'Brien in the Titan who has over 7 seconds to gap out in front, and then this fierce battle for second and third. At the moment it's Andrew Hibbard in the number 25 in second, just a nose ahead in the Brabham Alexis of Peter De La Roche in the yellow 75, trying to find a way. The sun glints down off of these Formula 3 cars, and it's Hibbard who manages to keep his advantage so far, but one small mistake and you will find yourself behind your rival. The toe, so crucial here, the momentum, the rhythm, that needs to be perfect in order to make the move around this brilliant but can be tricky Goodwood circuit. And at the moment it's still Hibbard who holds on to second. De La Roche just tucking in behind for now.
Well, this is his last opportunity. The race leader, Michael O'Brien, coming down for the final time to the chicane. He pulled 8 seconds clear. He's going through Woodcote, sweeping through. No trouble for him in the Titan. But the question is, sometimes it's better to be the chasing driver, the one that gets the slipstream on the final lap. It used to be no one wanted to lead before Monza got its chicanes. No problem for our race leader, Michael O'Brien. He'll come through. He's not a race leader, he's a race winner now. That's the Derek Bell Cup. Who's going to come through in second place? It's going to be the Brabham, surely, of Andrew Hibbard. But we've seen drag races to the line. It's very close. 1 car length between him and the Alexis and Peter De La Roche. They will have enjoyed that.
What a battle to the line. A race interrupted by a red flag, but when we got going again, Hibbard and De La Roche delivering us some spectacular racing. But all the plaudits go to Michael O'Brien, who takes the win for the Derek Bell Cup in his Titan. We're still racing further back in the pack, though. It's still all to play for. This, the 21 car of Ingwiller, out of the points at the moment behind this gaggle of cars. Behind the 9, that's the Merlin in front. And then this for the Pride and the final points paying position to the line. It's going to be nip and tuck, but nobody quite getting alongside out of the final corner as they all take the checkered flag and come to a slow. Michael O'Brien in the Titan takes the win in front of the Brabham of Andrew Hibbard, who just nicked it along the line from Peter De La Roche in the Alexis Ford, coming home in third spot. So